Dun dun dun. Okay. I was hoping the printer would be done by the time I kicked on the camera, but so be it. It's running. It's probably going to be a short chat tonight because it's been a long week. I'm kind of skunked. Kind of feeling it this week. This staying up until the wee hours of the morning thing is a game for the young. Let's see who is here already. Hello. Let's see. Get the glasses off so I can see in the distance here. John, JDC, Lister, Edward. Hello, guys. How is everyone? Let's see. What do we got going on in the room here? 8 people already? 9? Cool. Not bad. I get a lot of requests to do this later in the evening, but frankly, I didn't think I was going to make it. Got home and started immediately doing some work on the FT-6. I was also working on my CR10S Titan Aero, and that is an upgrade that I just recently did, and I was so proud of it last week. It was doing a great job, and I kept hearing clicking coming from the Titan Aero, and took it apart today, and geez, everything seemed to line up just fine. So took apart the hot end and clogged solid. So the only thing I can figure is that and I've seen this happen to other people, those blower fans put out way more air than the stock, CR10 TiVo Tornado fans. So I'm thinking what happened is, despite having a silicone stock and everything else seeming all right, I'm thinking maybe there's too much airflow, and that's causing some issues, and thus the clog. So, oh yay, you got a hypercube homing. There you go. 10:32 a.m. over there. Just woke up. Wow. So 10 o'clock. So that must be, you must be either in the Philippines or somewhere close. Wow. Nice to have quite a varied crowd. Hey, Wileys. It's been a long time. Yeah, I was, so tonight I'm not going to be doing any building. Been doing all kinds of that lately, but I'll be happy to chat with you guys and anything you guys want to talk about. Australia? Okay, there you go. Yeah, I've been to Australia. I was there in '98. Spent about, I think, 4 weeks down there in the Ballarat and Melbourne area. I would love to go back. I got a cup of coffee here somewhere. Hear this. I'm hoping it will perk me up a little. Nom nom. Once again, I just fed the cats, hoping that would put them to sleep, but as is usually the case here, you will see them in the background. 50-15 fan at 60%, that's a good tip. I think that's something I will have to do. What I'm doing is, I'm sorry, I should do this at the start of all, it's funny, I play the videos back, and before I put them on YouTube as a replay, I try to go through and edit. And I've been trying to get better about removing the first section of the video where you have the timer. Sometimes I just forget about it, and most people just fast forward through it. But every now and then I get a couple of comments saying, oh, you're being lazy, you should edit it. So I've been editing it. And the Ultimaker is done. Fantastic. So first of all, let me say good evening. My name is Paul. This is my channel where nerdy is cool, as you guys can see. And if those of you are regular visitors know I'm huge into 3D printing, R2-D2 building, BB-8, Stormtrooper, Batman, you name it, I'm into it. So welcome. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit the button in the corner and become a subscriber. I'd love to have you on board so you see all my videos. And if you haven't done so already, it looks like a couple of you already have. Down there in the bottom there, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I generally do a Friday night nerd chat, and it's kind of become our little tradition over the last couple of weeks. Actually, it's been a couple months now. I haven't done as many regular scripted videos as I would like, only because I've gotten so carried away with the FT-6, and my class schedule has kind of been getting in the way. So usually when I have a chance to do anything with the printers, usually I kick on the camera and do a live stream. But I do need to get back on the ball and finish editing a couple of the videos I've been working on. There's one I have to reshoot because I got some better information now. But yeah, so I try to be one of those YouTubers that puts out a video every week or two. But I'm also one of those guys where I don't feel pressured to have to put videos out because there's a lot of channels that I follow, like you guys follow, and there's a lot of channels that I like. They put out really good content, and there are some channels I follow that they have high subscriber numbers, they have high views, and sometimes I feel like they feel pressured to keep that momentum up, and by cranking out videos that probably aren't as good as they could be. So let's see in the chat buffer what we got going on here. How did the finished print turn out on the FT-6? That came out quite well, and I have that sitting here somewhere. I had a friend come over today. I've been having a problem with the bed is pretty warped, and in measuring the FT-6 bed, we were making sure that the when we brought the bed all the way down, make sure it was laying flat. It was. When we brought the bed to the home position, the distance between the bed, and what I mean by the bed is the ACM material, not the actual print surface, but the actual bed itself. We made sure that the spacing was equal when it was in the home position and then when it was all the way down, and it was. So as best we could figure is when I built the printer, everything seems square to me, but again, you're dealing with T-nuts and screws, so the minute you crank those in there, you know, when those things bite into the rail, sometimes things move up, down, and or do whatever they want to do. So overall, that print came out really decent, but the subsequent prints, when I was doing a scan of the entire bed, realized that one end to the other, there was a 2 millimeter difference. So something was definitely going on there. And thanks to some excellent people in the Folgertech Facebook group, a lot of people have thrown some really good ideas at me on how to make this better. I think it was Joshua that had said, hey, maybe you need to measure your 2020 framing, which basically, as it comes across, is make sure your frame is square. Because if your frame is not squared, then the essential pieces that glide around on that, i.e. your linear rails, if those are up or down a little bit, those will affect the travel of the printhead. And it may not be the bed surface. It may be that you have, you know, one linear rail slightly higher than the other, and all those wonderful geometric things. Boy, you guys are typing away. This is great. Listeners asking about the TiVo Tornado. Hi, Minnesota Maker. And Wiley's has already answered the question for you. See, this is what's great about this. There's a lot of, like I said, live streams that I follow, and you know, sometimes they're not as terribly interactive as they ought to be with the host. But what I love about what I do on mine is that we get a bunch of guys to come together. Some are 3D printing noobs, some are intermediates, which is what I would call myself. I am by no means an expert. And there's a lot of guys that come in here who are definitely could qualify as gurus, and they offer a lot of good feedback to the questions that are being thrown here in the live chat. So by all means, don't view me as the guru. I'm just the host of a bunch of friends having a little chit chat on a Friday night. So I had someone the other day, he kind of made a smart ass comment, you know, well, he's really aloof, he thinks he knows everything. No, I don't. You have not been watching me very long. I'll be the first one to admit I'm a big dumb animal and I'm just learning, just like you guys. So there you go. Yeah, so around here somewhere, unless the cat got it. No, here it is. And I would have to show you on the other camera here. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, by the way, and this is one of the things I did print. I did print a, these are clipped to the 2020, and I have ball bearings here, and that is my solution, at least for now, to how to feed filament into those extruders. And I'll move that camera so you can get a better look at it. I'm not sure if this is going to be the winning combination or not, but since the extruders are up here, I think that's probably one of the better ways of running filament. Ideally, I would have loved to have had them down here and feed filament directly above, but the linear rail, and it also comes real close to the carriage. The first print came out quite nicely. I don't know how the focus is going to be for us here, but I numbered it because what I did is I took measurements. Let me put this down and maybe the camera will play a little bit nicer here. But for a first print, come on. This is the camera that we paid the extra money for. There it is. Well, there it was. Too many lights. But for a first print, I mean, that came out pretty darn nice. So, So a few updates on the printer. Like I said, this is one of the things I just printed out for it. I mentioned I wasn't going to go too much into the FT-6. I just got done squaring the frame. So essentially that means I need to do my Z offset all over again. I need to go through that whole process. And I also have now, I have attached the external fan. I had that on the inside, but there wasn't enough clearance with the power supply inside of there. And let me get us back to our other camera here. There. So I don't trip over that. So overall, we're making some okay progress on the FT-6. One of the things I am still stuck with, and I don't know where it is in Maryland, and perhaps you guys can help me understand this, because I know there's a couple of you Maryland gurus in here. I'm going to get my phone out of the way. The one thing I still have not figured out is, move the microphone because you guys like the louder me. When you first start the print, you have the ability to press the LCD controller button 2 times, which will bring up baby stepping. And the version of Marlin that I have for the FT5 is supposed to have that turned on. And I thought I found it under advanced, and I uncommented it, but I keep on trying, and it is not working for me. So if any of you gurus out there with Arduino, I'm sorry, with actually with Arduino/Marlin, let me know. And checking through the buffer here, you guys are quick. How sturdy is that spool holder? Well, I printed that thing at 30%, so it should be in there. Baby stepping is combined now. Well, my other printers all have it. I know I have it on the TH3D version, and I went digging through his. And I know on my on the Easy ABL I have it using the TH3D firmware, but I can pop it up on the screen here, and I can show you how much I have done. And maybe this will be something just came off the bed. Well, Marlin is one of those things that I don't know super well, but I have been in and out of this so much this week that you just can't help but learn by accident. And I did want to do the UBL bed leveling, and then I watched a video from Chris's basement on how to do it, and I was like, yeah, bilinear is fine. So it takes, by default, bilinear will do 3 points, and somewhere here is my mouse. There we go. Let's go to that other screen. Hey, that's my, here we go. That's the one I want right there. Okay, so I know I want to go to, now I thought it was under config.advanced. Let me get rid of my glasses so I can see what's going on here. And I was pretty sure if I did a Control F and I typed in baby step, and I was under the impression if you just uncommented this, it would then appear. Right, I understand exactly what you're saying, Jake. But what I'm saying is that when the print starts, if you press the button twice, you still have that menu that you can either crank up or down to lower the Z up or down. With my Folgertech, it's not coming up. So I'm wondering if there's something in this default firmware that I am missing. I thought it was under here. I thought if I just got rid of those two, oops, Control Z, bring it back. Yeah, I was under the impression if I kicked those out of there, it would. Really? Okay, well, it's still doing it under TH3Ds, so that's interesting. So you're saying that It's under control. And okay, so the next time I do a print, I'll. All right. Well, that is. See, this is why we have Nerd Chat. We learn. Okay, so the next time, probably on tomorrow, when I do a test print on this thing, we'll check that out. Because I was looking all over for that. Because my bed, I did the. If you haven't done it before, the bed visualizer with Octoprint, I had never done it before. I didn't know what startup commands to put in there, and I clicked the link to the GitHub and put that in there. And my G29, where the probe goes across the entire bed, I had set mine up by default. It'll do a 3x3 grid, so it's going 333, 333, 333. And of course, with a bed this huge, I mean it's 720 by 350, so 26 inches by 15 inches. So it takes quite a while to do that. But because it's a big surface, and I was concerned about how level the surface was, I increased the grid pattern to do 5 points. So it's doing 5 by 5. Dun, dun, dun. You asked me, this one I have is 1.1.9. It's not 2.0. So yeah, this is why we learn. But the bed visualizer, it was very interesting because if I pull it up, I just got to find it again here. And I'll throw it on the main monitor over here. This gives you a little idea of how awesome my bed level was. So yeah, it's off by 2 millimeters, and so definitely had to crank that. Vanilla Marlin, yep. Yeah, no, Tim doesn't have anything for the FT-6 yet. His I don't think he's built any of the kits. I know he's just offered basic support for the FT5, but so it's something we're definitely working on correcting and fixing. And that's something I meant to empty that out. Let me go in there right now and do that. I keep seeing that jar filling, and let's just go ahead and empty the jar. There we go. There we go. I've had a lot of people asking me, hey, should I get an FT-6? What's your impression of it? What do you think? And I'm of the mindset that the kit is going to improve. I've offered a lot of feedback, and he's been very open to that feedback, as I've said in the other live streams that I've done during the build. So I don't think it's a bad kit. I don't think it's their best kit either. This is definitely a situation where, now having this is my third Folgertech printer from John. This is one of those things where this is priced at a great price point. It's a fantastic print volume, and if you're looking for something that can print that big, and if you're not scared of kits, it's definitely a good value. However, as I've mentioned too, and like I said, I'm open to everybody, so it's not like I sugarcoat it for John and Chris or anyone else at Folgertech, and I just offer these suggestions to improve the product. Is that they've come out with a nice product, and to me, it's like they're 80% away from having a 100% good product. As I mentioned in these past chats, there's definitely some shortcomings in the manual. There's definitely some things hardware-wise I feel that they should have included. For example, the flat washers would be one thing. There's a lot of people that have received incomplete kits, or they've received ACM pieces that were not as good as they could have been, so there's some quality control issues they got to work on. One of my pet peeves, and I know you may think I'm being petty here, but of all the printers I have, the Folgertech printers are the only ones I have that do not come with a part cooling fan. And I think it's unfortunate that you kind of leave that to the customer to figure out, because you're buying this printer kit because it's a better value than, say, buying a pre-assembled or an inexpensive Chinese printer. But whether you go TiVo or whether you go Ultimaker or Lulzbot or whatever, all of these printers have part cooling fans. So it just kind of drives me crazy that, if you're trying to appeal to the market who are beginners, if you give them everything they need to have a successful build, you can have a happy customer. And it's little things like that that drive me crazy. So, however, that said, thank goodness that there's a very vibrant and energetic bunch of people on the Folgertech group that are doing a lot of development. They're making a lot of add-ons for the printer. For example, a lot of the things that I have on the printer already, I have a part cooling fan on this. I have no idea how well it's going to work. It sits flush with the silicone sock, so I'm a little curious how that's going to work out. And another pet peeve, it did not come with a silicone sock. So, I know I'm being nitpicky, and I understand that, some people will say in the comments or in the chat, you're being picky. Look at what you're getting for the money. A lot of people, kind of pig-piled on me because I criticized my $190 G-Tech A10 for not printing well out of the box. On one hand, there were people that were going, what do you expect for $200? So you're lucky you got anything. And then on the other hand, there were people that agreed with me. Well, hey, this thing was advertised as being complete, working, and what have you. And all the issues you found were dumb. Had anyone on the assembly line powered on that printer and done a test print, it would have been immediately obvious that this thing had problems. So there we go. Am I missing anything in the buffer? I haven't looked in a second. No, you guys are being quiet. Okay. I'm okay with that. So long story short, I think the FT-6 is going to be an excellent printer. I like the fact that there's a lot of people that are developing some ideas on how to make it print even better. I'm not crazy about, if you look at the size of the Bowden tubes here, there is about 500 millimeters of Bowden tube wrapped around here to reach, the print heads. And of course, because we have a huge print volume, you need all of that. Yes, I agree with you, Jake. Yeah, and he has. It hasn't been one of those things where he's been like, shut up, I'm just going to do it the way I want to do it. He's been like, no, these are good points. You got a bad sensor? Yeah, and that's so a printer this size, and we've had some amazing development over the last year with these really, really small print heads, and the extruder technology is getting really, really good too. So, Bondtech's been around for a while, but for a long time, a lot of people didn't want to spend that money to upgrade to a Bondtech extruder. But now that more people are 3D printing and you have more elaborate materials and people are getting tired of slipping extruders from these inexpensive printers, and of course the clones have helped, now you're seeing Bondtechs everywhere. And then, I want to say E3D started a lot of this with their V6 being a very lightweight hot end, and then they improved that with the Titan Aero for direct drive. Now you have, what's their name? Slice has their Mosquito, and that looks like a fascinating package there. If you get a Mosquito hot end, which is super small, super light, match that up with a Bondtech and something like this, and I am really, really excited to see what something like that would do. Yeah, I hear you. There's a lot of stuff coming out that I would definitely be inclined to want to try out. Like I said, unfortunately, the budget says I have to watch out. But I got a couple of printers here I should really focus on upgrading. But and that leads me to this. If you like my channel, you like me, you like what I'm doing, there is at the bottom of your chat, there's a super chat feature. If you want to throw me a couple bucks for coffee, beer, printer parts, I'm cool with that. In the description, there's a link as well, too, if you want to donate via PayPal. So I just wanted to give myself that small plug there that, hey, if you like me, you want to throw me a couple bucks, I appreciate it. So that said, yes, I've been bombarded from Matter hackers, and someone else sent me an ad. No, I got a message from Slice themselves letting me know that they had the Mosquito and BMG combinations on sale. So I'm curious how that would work. With the FT-6, the FT-6 has something interesting going on with they have the PCB on the printhead cartridge. And that's kind of a double-edged sword, because if you wanted to route stuff through that PCB, I got to get more information from John about how that all works. We had someone on the live stream recently that was talking about doing the BL Touch. And someone had mentioned in the Folgertech forum that, well, if you want to use the BL Touch using that PCB, you have to change out some resistors or capacitors or something. They were speaking electronic talk that was way up over here for me, and definitely above my comfort level. You know, I don't mind soldering wires and things of that nature, but when you're talking about capacitors and, good grief, you know, trying to figure out which way is positive and negative on those, and I had my hands full when I was doing LEDs for R2D2 a couple years back. So there it is. But this is, someone had mentioned about the TiVo Tornado. As soon as I have the CR10S, which is behind us in the background over here, if I can get my thumb right, I just replaced the throat and the nozzle on that. Actually, I did that probably in the last hour. I was going to try to do some test prints on that to make sure everything was working properly, but I didn't want to get arms deep in that and then come running over here to you. But if that works, well, if I can lower the blower down to 60% and get some good quality prints, I have everything printed out and ready to go to make the very same upgrade to my TiVo Tornado, which has been sitting here for a year in pieces because I broke the bed. I was attempting to put solid spacers, and when I was threading a screw back through the glass bed, it shattered on me. And fortunately, I didn't get cut or injured or whatever, but it did scare the hell out of me because it just went pop, and there it was. And looking over here, hey, I got 7 thumbs up. You guys rock. Dun, dun, dun. So my goal of the weekend, outside of working on my term paper, which is due next week, and I have been totally procrastinating, so I need to get on that. They broke better on TiVo 2002. Yeah. I don't have a lot of time on my TiVo. When the TiVo showed up, it was so back-ordered. When it showed up, I was surprised. And I was surprised for 2 reasons. When it showed up, my girlfriend at the time, I just said, here, you put it together. And maybe that's why she's not here no more. But anyway, so I let her put it together, and we did a couple prints off of it, and all we got was all the prints had salmon skin all through it. And then I started to do some research on the diodes and how to get rid of the noise the steppers were making. And then they came out with a new TiVo Tornado, the Gold Rose one, or whatever it's called. And then the stepper driver thing became real active last year. So I bought a bunch of 2208s, a new motherboard, and all that. And all that stuff is sitting in a stack. Tim, when I got involved with TH3D and their Easy ABL, I bought a bunch of those. He gave me a great deal on a bunch of them. So I thought, here's what I'll do. On the TiVo, when we get back to it, I'll buy all these brand new parts. He recommended a better SSR and a power supply. He wanted a lot of money for them. I found them a little bit cheaper. Sorry, Tim. So that stack of stuff is sitting there. But until I get this big, giant, huge printer off my table, I'm kind of limited on where I can work. You picked up 2 more TiVo Tornadoes? Wow. Yeah, it's Rui Raptor has a lot of them. Yeah, I guess, Wiley, the question I guess that was tabled is how many printers do you have now? Hey, zombie, coffee, thank you. Dun, dun, dun. We should be getting a pop-up on screen here in a moment. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I've got the Dunkin' Donuts stuff going on right now. There it is. Woo! I love Streamlabs. I love all that animation stuff. That's so cool. Appreciate the tip. Yeah, the TiVo could be, it's funny because I didn't realize that, being a small channel, I mean, I got less than 3,000 subscribers, but for a channel like mine, I've only really started to put effort into this channel in the last year, January of 2018, and I just got a notification from YouTube that we just went past 250,000 views, and I guess I guess that's good. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that, gawks on my stats every day, because I find that people that do that start putting out content that's crap, and it tends to steer people away more than haul them in. So, because I got one YouTuber that I used to love to watch, and I'm kind of giving him attention, whether he deserves it or not here. But this is my nerd chat. We can talk about it. One of my favorite guys a couple years ago was Barnacules. Barnacules Nerdgasm. And back when 3D printing was just starting out with the Ultimakers and stuff like that, 2.5 years ago, he was it. He knew how to use Ultimakers. He knew how to do printing. He knew how to fine tune Cura. Very fun guy. A lot of inappropriate humor, but I liked the guy. And then he's covered a lot of other tech stuff. I guess he was a Microsoft engineer, software developer. Got laid off. A real fun channel. But then it became a lot of personal drama became involved with it. He was giving. He was volunteering a lot more personal information than I would ever volunteer. But he felt that, if you were a viewer, you were part of his family. And then he kind of went AWOL for a while. So, he went from having just under 1 million subscribers to, in the last couple of months, he's really kind of, ticked down there. So, hello, Danielle. Not too much at the moment. We're just kind of BSing about 3D printing topics. Welcome. But so anyway, I noticed I'm not a big Twitter guy, and but I follow it. I don't put out a lot of posts there. I mean, when you have 30 followers, there's only so many people that care, right? But I mean, I scroll through Twitter like most people, and I noticed that he's been very active on there, Barnacules Nerdgasm, and he's put out a couple YouTube videos since, and they've been excellent. It's like, okay, good. The old Barnacules is back. This is the guy that I really, really enjoy. But then, like a lot of these guys, they kind of step in it. They go political. They, all these Trump guys are making fun of me, and then it just turns into, when you wade into politics, and especially as polarized as our society is right now, 50% believe this, 50% believe that, and if you're not on that side, they don't know why you bother to get up every day. So I try to steer clear of that. I like everybody. The only thing I care about is if you have an opinion and you believe it, go vote. And that's it. I don't care if you're left, right, green, libertarian, communist, China, whatever. I don't care. We're here to have fun, and we're here to all get along, and put all that crap aside. We have all that crap going on all the time. It seems like everything is politicized, all over the place. And I like my channel and 3D printing to be fun. So anyway, I'm kind of ranting here, but my point was that I've always enjoyed Barnacules, and I thought he was making a comeback. But after seeing, he's tirading on Twitter and what have you, I guess I'm done with him until he comes out of his funk again. And I hate that, because a lot of these guys are very, very fun people to watch. But once they go down that path, maybe it's part of whatever mental battles he has. I don't know. But I'm hoping he snaps out of it and gets back to the wild, fun, inappropriate Barnacules that we all know and love. Hello, Caleb. Yeah, I'm not messing with any 3D printers at the moment. Kind of a lazy night. Oh, let's see how this came out. Oh, that's a pretty small filament guide. So the theory is that would go here, maybe? Yeah. I think maybe I printed the wrong file. And then the other object I printed, I should have put support because it completely failed. Nuts. Huh, I thought this was just a bad file with the GTech, but nope. That's how it goes sometimes. You download these files off Thingiverse, the guy says, no support needed, and you go, okay. And it looks good on Simplify 3D, and then you go print it, and you wind up with stuff that's just falling apart. Unfortunately, I think I have a 60-40 ratio with 3D printing. About 40% of what I print winds up in the trash. I sent you pictures. I put them on Instagram. Hey, Jesse. Jesse is the gentleman that we had here the other day that was saying, Paul, just unpack that BL Touch, get it done. Let's use that. And I was like, all right, fine. I printed out the mount. I pulled it out of the package. I got it all wired up, and no Jesse. Jesse gave up on me. That's okay. That was a pretty late broadcast. So, and if you're on the East Coast like I am, you know, sometimes these go on until the wee hours of the morning. So I do have the BL Touch sitting out here. I did watch a couple of videos on it, and what's interesting, Jesse, is I have the probe working on the Folgertech printer. I don't know if it's more accurate than the BL Touch or not. I'm not right at the moment. I have just re-squared the frame, so I definitely have to do the Z offset again. When I did, actually, I can show you on this screen over here. I did a this is through Octoprint with the bed leveling analyzer, and as you can see, we got us a problem. Oh, what happened here? What popped up? Holy cow! Someone gave me what, $5? Cool. Thank you, sir. Hey, the beer fund is getting replenished. Actually, I haven't had any beer here for a while. That's cool. So let me go back to, this is the bed analyzer, and I'm sorry that I probably should be able to magnify this a little bit better, but a couple things. When this ran across, I was using bilinear leveling, which I'm still using, but it was set to 3 points. So basically, I did 3 by 3. So we did 9 points. In a bed that is, 29 inches by 14 inches, that's probably, probably not the best choice. I've since updated that to 5 points. I finally found the right spot. Hello, Keith. Printers are better than beer. I know. I wish Formlabs would send me one. They have that new SL, that new one there that looks absolutely amazing, but I don't have any resin printers, and really, I got to get the ones I have here pumping out BB-8 pieces. But as you can see on my bed report here, I definitely have one side is way higher than the other. And, that's the spool holder. Let's come back to me. Here we go. So Keith, tell us, you just received your FT-6, and how is your build going? I know you were going to be making a lot of changes along the way since you have that technical background, but yeah. We'll wait for his response here in the buffer. Well, here's the thing, okay? That's what I thought. I thought that perhaps I brought the bed all the way down to the bottom, perfectly level. Interesting. Brought it up about 4 inches from the bottom. I put some coffee cups because they're all, I even measured them. Okay, they were all exactly the same size. Lowered the bed on top of them. I expected to see, one be a little higher than the other. Nope. All just fine. Interesting. Homed the bed. Measured the bed ACM to the gantry ACM, expecting to see some differences from one side to the other. Nope. They're all good. So the only thing left for me to try out is, well, maybe somehow my frame is not square. Because this is, after all, this is a kit that has a lot of, we're talking T-nuts and M5 screws. So, a lot of these pieces, when you put them together and you believe you have them in the right position, the minute you tighten up that T-nut, sometimes as they bite into that channel, sometimes they move a little bit up, down, left, right, what have you. I think that's what happened in my case. So the remedy to this, and let me get the external camera here, and I can show you a little bit here. So, these guys right here. So what I did is I went to each of these. I got that light right there, so it's not going to help. So I went to each one of these guys, and I loosened them up. And then I went to each one of the corners, and I have these spacers that I printed out, and I verified that in the center is exactly 170 millimeters. And as I went through each spot here, I definitely noticed that there were some that had a better fit than others. So after loosening the chrome rod holders, we loosened up the edges here, and I'm just gonna stick this here. So what we did is we loosened up these outer pieces, and using, actually you can see why I still have one still stuck in here. Using those as a guide, and with these guys chrome rods loosened up, I gently took a small hammer and tapped these guys up or down to get them snug. And I feel like we have them good and snugged up now. Yeah, Keith, what we need to do here is you need to get yourself a good web camera that has a good microphone, and what we can do is we can do a Google Chat or a Skype or whatever, and I can give you a window in the screen here, and you can co-host a conversation. But if we get tips, I am going to keep the tips, okay? Because I'm just a small bachelor with a bunch of 3D printers and starving. I got 3 droids to feed. I got 3 cats to feed. So, but yeah. So I expected, honestly, to see that the lead screws were between all the times that we crashed into the bed. I thought for sure one lead screw was a little bit higher than the other. Oh, Caleb, I know. I have a radio face. Yes, Drew. Yeah, that was Drew Carey's line, right? Cleveland rocks. I'm showing my age here. So the other fun thing this evening is I had a friend of mine come over. I called him up and I said, hey, I don't have one of those carpenter's triangles. So he stopped over and he brought one over because I'd had one, but I loaned it out and God knows, where it might have went. And I said, Fred, because Fred has built CNC machines and a lot of other stuff, very mechanically inclined gentleman. I mean, he does upholstery, he does signs. I mean, he's just one of the smartest guys I know. I said, Fred, I need you to look at this machine, and I need you to look at these corners and assume that I have assembled this printer completely wrong and that I'm an idiot and that I haven't squared the machine just right. He's like, I'd be happy to call you an idiot, Paul. So he called me an idiot, and then, oh, you want me to do something else? So my friends have a great sense of humor. So together we did that, and we took measurements, and it looked like that. Here's our theory, and we won't know until we actually do the Z offset and do all this measuring. The thought is that one side was a little bit higher than the other, as we saw in the bed analyzer. But we think it was because one part of the frame was a little too high, rather too low, which would affect the travel of the gantry. Now, I'm sure Keith, being the electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, with all his backgrounds and credentials, there's a better explanation for that, but I better not say anything. Caleb, sometimes when you get a slow pitch, you got to swing. I am looking forward to having my my desk back. Right now, I have the laptop on top of one of the rolling tool drawers, and I can't stretch out. But which leads me to the other thing that I find interesting. Because my Z offset for this printer, what was it last night? It was like negative 3.7. And what's interesting is one of the gentlemen posted on the Folgertech Facebook group saying, hey, I did some research on the sensor. I was trying to find information on it. And he was indicating that, it's not, he mentioned something about it not being accurate until it's like 4 millimeters or something. So hello, Canada. Where in Canada are you? Boy, we have like 21 people in here tonight. This is great. Woohoo! Actually, I meant to share this out. I have two things I need to share. I need to share one with you guys. Okay, let's cut and paste that into the chat right here. Okay, so if you're wondering, I try to do this every couple half hour or so. If you're a new viewer, if you have no idea who I am, my name is Paul. This is my channel where nerdy is cool. I am huge into 3D printing. I've got myself a Batman suit. I got an R2-D2. I got a BB-8 sitting over here behind me in pieces that's waiting for some attention. You name it, I'm into it. So what we're talking about is we're talking about the Folgertech FT-6, which is the big giant printer right beside me here. As you can see, it's kind of a monster. North of Toronto. Okay. Close to my time zone. I'm over here in Maine. The FT-6 is a huge printer. It has a build volume of 750 by 320. For those of us that are not into millimeters and the metric system, that is roughly 29 inches by, I think, 12.5 if my conversion is right. And then the height is 400 millimeters. So it's pretty much the same height-wise as our CR10s and TEVO Tornadoes and stuff like that. So if you're interested in getting a printer this size, or any of the Folgertech printers, for example, the FT5, the FT6, the i3 Mega, stuff like that, there is a coupon code in the description below, where nerdy is cool. That will get you 5% off. That is also an affiliate link, so that helps the channel. All those plaid pants. Why are my pants important here? Yeah, sorry. Hey, it's Friday. I'm off work. Kelowna. So it's interesting that you say that, because a friend of mine, she is a meteorologist for Canada, and every now and then she makes it down our way, and she grew up and was raised in Salmon Arm, which is, I believe, out your way. You mentioned aligned bottom rail to the gantry. Well, that's the kick, and you may have missed that when you just jumped in. Back in the 70s. My goodness gracious. They mock me. That's fine. I'm an easy target. I don't mind. Oh, that's 2 hours north? Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, so I think, as I mentioned earlier, when I brought the bed all the way down, it touched the bed. It was flush there. When I brought it to the home position and I measured, the measurements were fine. Let's look at the chat buffer real quick. Oh, I was going to mention that. Yes, I did notice that on my first print. I don't know if you saw the video. Actually, I don't even know if the microphone picked that up, because the Ultimaker was running at the same time. But yeah, I did notice my first print when it was doing that calibration cube. The squeak was pretty impressive. So what I did the other evening is I got a microfiber cloth that I would never use again. Cut a small piece of it, and I put a bunch of sewing machine oil, which is a very light oil, and I went up and down the rails. Got a lot of gunk out of there, and I did the same thing for the print carriage, and that seems to have made a big difference. So I am hoping, after everything I've done tonight. Now, Jesse, and I don't know if you can explain this, well in the chat buffer or not, but for Keith is also. I'm sorry, I just hit the pop filter here. I am curious, because only based on what I've seen on the Folgertech, group, I haven't seen everyone say, how do you make the BL Touch work with this? What's the words I'm searching for? Well, of course, the FT6 has their own PCB on the print carriage, and I know the 3-wire, the servo cable, you could probably put that right through. Right through where the existing probe connector is. And then you have the black and white cable, which I assume you would have to route that over and then go directly into the MKS board. But I saw a lot of posts where people were talking about, and Keith being an electrical engineering background, we'd mentioned that RJ45 noise and stuff like that. So if you have a video tutorial on how to do so, or if you have a document or a web page or a blog or whatever, we'd be really curious because I think there's a good chunk of us that have the stock sensor. The sensor we don't know a whole lot about. And I think a BL Touch or the like. I know Keith has an infrared one I think he was talking about using. So because the one thing that ran through my mind when we were talking about running the BL Touch, okay, is that the thing that we ran into with the i3 Mega, which also uses an MKS board, and it's also a Folgertech product, the one thing that we ran into right off the bat was that Folgertech uses a 4-wire connector, whereas everyone else uses a 3-wire or 2-wire. I'm sorry, Folgertech uses 3, everyone else uses 2 on their limit switches. So you're saying run your own 2-wire cable. Would that be the... Actually, I have it right here. Have it here under my stack of when I see Jesse again. All right, see, I even got... And I know I don't have nearly enough cable to make this work, but... Now, I watched a couple of videos, and I am curious about a couple of things here. Let's start off with the basics, okay? So, I was going to say something out loud, but you guys would have picked on me, but I had a screw come loose. Okay, so I have this bad boy that I printed out. I know it's going to go in here. What I am curious is, I know on other videos I've seen, there's supposed to be a certain distance between not the tip here, but the base of the actual unit. There's supposed to be like 8.3 millimeters between this and the nozzle, I believe, or I don't know. There's a lot of BL Touch tutorials on YouTube, and of course the FT-6 being a new printer, so haven't seen how to make all that work. See, Caleb? See? Only one? There you go. See? Well, that's what I... Okay, so Jesse ran all 5. Okay. Now, so you basically... By doing so, let me use some good words here. So you circumvented the PCB altogether by running the wires directly to the MKS board. What version? I don't know. I just bought this, so... Oh, okay. Okay, it says Smart and V22, and it has the plastic tip. Oh, well, you guys are on fire tonight. Look at you. I got Caleb picking on me. I got Keith hitting me. This is great. That's right. Multiple syllables and big words. You may be smarter than me, but I taught gooder. Well, see, that's when you're speaking over my level right there. I don't mind going direct wire. I have no problem circumventing all of this electronic. The only problem I have is that I have a terrible time getting the friggin' pins out of these JST connectors. So I'm a big dumb animal right there. I like that term. I have to find a new one. But I don't know. Sounds like we ought to do a live stream, and maybe Jesse can throw up a camera here, and we can turn it into a conference call, and we can all learn from it. And I'll save the video, and we'll have it there. But the first question, let's do this step by step because we're dealing with the lag and the chat. Unless you want to do some sort of Facebook Connect here, and I'll throw you on screen if you got a camera. But we can do that if you like. Put you on the spot. So the first thing I want to find out about is in mounting this thing onto the mount we have and attaching it to the stock, how high, how low should this be? Right. Well, and that's just it. I mean, I already have, here's the beautiful thing. I have like a meter of cable already. So that's going to get me most of the way. And then if I need to extend on this, all of this is a servo and 2-wire cable, which I have all kinds of. I mean, with 2R2D2s, I have servo cable like it's going out of style. Yeah, ping me on Facebook or shoot me a message on the Where Nerdy is Cool on the Facebook page, and maybe we can try to schedule something sometime tomorrow and throw on a live stream. I do it tonight, but I'd be standing up, and you guys will make fun of my plaid jammy pants. And they're not baggy. They're not hammer pants. Okay? And don't ever ask me to dance again. I've already been told never to say cray cray again. You're like, no, it's not a good word for you. But yeah, I would be very interested in the process tomorrow evening. Okay, let me know. Okay, let me see what Keith just said. On V2.2, the BL Touch, when probe is closed, it should be 4 millimeter above. Okay. So, for those of us in Maine, so that means that this guy, okay, as it is, needs to be 4 millimeters above the nozzle. Okay, I think even Paul could figure that out. Now the kicker with this mount, what am I stuck on here, is it has to go on, no, I guess not. What's interesting, where's my other camera here so I can give you a little perspective on this. Let me give you the sometimes in focus, sometimes not in focus Caleb camera. So it's interesting with this one is I printed this mount, and the screws that come with it, which are 440s, fit in that channel very nicely. And again, this is a very nice print from, of all things, the G-Tech A10, which every now and then surprises us with its amazing printability. Only after we took it apart, gutted it, put new stuff on it, and made it work. You're not embarrassing me. Trust me. If I wanted to embarrass myself, I don't have to work too hard to do it. So, yeah, so part of me wants to get rid of this, whatever that probe thing is that came from Folgertech. The catch is that I soldered the wires together, so I'm going to have to, and those wires, let's see, what's attached to them? The fan on the hot end. And that's going to make those wires even shorter. So, Oh, did you post a link? You did post a link. Oh, look at that. So, okay, so ideally it's the underline 4 plus or minus 0.3. Yeah, no pressure. Now I just have to find something that's 4 millimeter thick. That's always the interesting thing with these things. I don't know about you guys. I have the darndest time finding anything metric in this town. Anytime I go to the Lowe's or big box stores, finding anything metric is quite a chore, especially if you're trying to find smaller stuff. You know, hardware and screws and nuts. Oh, just Paul at wherenerdyiscool.com. That'll it'll get flagged by spam like everything else does, but I'll go through there and pull it out of there. Print a 4 millimeter disc. Okay, well, now I just have to find a 4 millimeter disc. Because I don't have any skills when it comes to Tinkercad or stuff like that. I'll have to go to Thingiverse or something like that. So, okay, so let's see. Really? Home Depot's better? Okay. Because I know I go to my local hardware store where I get charged 19 cents a cent, or no, I'm sorry, those are the cheapies. A lot of the screws, because, again, another strike on the FT-6 kit, I was missing a lot of M3s, and I was missing a lot of M5s. Yeah, do it up. That'd be great. But, yeah, I had a hard time finding a lot of the metric hardware that I needed. Well, let me rephrase that. A lot of the metric hardware that I needed, which didn't come with the kit, unfortunately, a lot of that stuff was Phillips head up top. It wasn't like the pan head socket top. I'm sorry, pan head hex head like what came with the kit. So, you know what's interesting? It's funny you say that, Jesse. I had a friend of mine saying, "Hey, you know, I've been using weed whacker material, you know, to print," and so I looked it up, and I mean, it's got arsenic in it. So I told them, I said, just so you know, where's your printer? Oh, I got it in the garage. I said, well, that's a good thing. I said, just so you know, if you look at the specs on this super cheap filament you've been printing with here, I said it's pretty nasty and toxic. So please, for the love of God, you know, don't do it. Within 0.3. 4 millimeter. What have I got? 4 millimeter. Let's see. You know, it's well, I'm sure they don't make feeler gauges that big. Let's see. Oh, this is on too tight here. Yeah, it's funny because when I was doing the Easy ABL, I kept on looking at all those wrenches that came on my other printers. Yeah, you know, it's funny. You know, I had someone reach out to me from a school saying, "Hey, have you ever worked with a MakerBot printer? We have one that needs some maintenance." And I said, "Well, number one, no, I've never messed with a MakerBot. And well, you want to come over here and come work on this?" I'm like, "No, no, I'll work on my own stuff. Over someone else's, I'd rather not." Nope. Okay. So that sounds like that we have an idea for a live stream tomorrow then. And, well, that's fine. If you don't want to do it until the... Oh, there you go. See there? See, now you're making me feel like I ought to do this tonight because it's only 10 o'clock at night, and I have you guys here with me, and the worst thing you're going to do is laugh and make fun of my pants. What a crew. Okay, let's take this thing. Let's take this thing down. Dun dun dun. And let's get the external view, and let's do the prep work here anyway. All right, let's move this guy up, because I know the first thing we're going to have to do, we're going to have to mess with wires. The other thing that I will, let me move the microphone as close as I can get, because I know I'm going to fade out. There we go. I'll increase the gain because I'm a little further away. These wire connectors, spring-loaded things, are just the pits. I'm just going to rant about that one last time, because the wires you're feeding in there are so thin, the wires tend to bend rather than travel through the channel. There. Okay, so let's see. Why do I have all this stuff? Oh, this is because Fred was over and I was showing him the all the expensive chain flex IGUS stuff I bought that I have not wound up using. Okay, if I leave that there, the cats will chew it. And then keep an eye on the chat buffer real quick. That's right, they're just jealous. Exactly. You got to be a certain kind of guy to make plaid look this good. Right. And let me get to this. Okay, so I got that PDF open that you sent over. They're not hammer pants. I just want to be clear. All right, let's see. Do I have the right size ones here? Yep. Why am I feeling air blow? Oh, the printer's on. Let's turn the printer off. Okay, one less thing that can go boom. Okay. Bunch of extra tools. Oh, did you? Okay, I'd have to check that out. One of these computers has the email Outlook set up on it. All right, so let's say, now I wonder, maybe this is more of a wagering question. Do you think the BL Touch will do a better job probing than this, or about the same? And I think Keith's mention of the 5/32 drill bit is an excellent idea too. Yeah, it's okay, Keith. Well, what's fun about these videos and live streams and what have you is it's fun to get a bunch of people here and turn it into a co-op. It's fun to have such knowledgeable people in the audience. And hey, if this helps someone else out along the way, that's good too. Oh, and here we go. All right, now I have to manage to wiggle you out of all this. All right, so I'm gonna have to good news is I can probably just untangle this guy. Question is, which way did I tighten you? There it is. Whoop, there it is. Yay. Okay. Okay. Sensor is out. And then I just gotta put this bugger back in. And all 20 feet into this. Boy, that's a lot of... Alright. And let's see. Boy, this cable just barely fits around here. You know, this 170 millimeter bar is a great smack in the way too. Alright. This wire is so thin, it's a real challenge to get this to fit inside that press opening. And I think that's actually a little bit too long here. Doot. Let's see. Okay, you need to move the clip. Clarify that, please. You need to move the clip. Well, yeah, this is, you're talking about this guy, right? This is what's going to go on here. Oh, you're saying one of the bed clips? Well, we've already got the, well, we're going to have to redo our offsets. We know that. Okay. So the question becomes, what's the best way to do this here? I suspect these screws are a little bit too long and they're going to get in the way of the probe, but let's see what happens. And okay, one of these guys is going to be the right one. Sorry for the motion sickness here. Caleb, I have no comment on that. Okay, I'm not going to make this tight. I spent a lot of money on this camera to appease my audience. Okay, so that part. Okay, now let me back up to what you're saying here. You mentioned one of these bed clips. Let me get the top view here so I get a better view of what you're talking about here. Okay, this is the front. This is the back. Which bed clip do you want me to touch? Yeah, we haven't done a DCS flight in a while. Okay, and we have all kinds of wire. That will probably have to be extended, but we'll just lay it over here. This is going to go across the front. Yeah, mine. This is left. This is right. See, we've already done our well, actually technically, and I'm sure Keith is going to catch this too, we're probably going to have to change our offsets all over again. Okay, I am assuming that this will be enough. Yep. So we don't have to use a very okay, I think these are like 10 millimeter, 8 millimeter. There's that. Okay, and then I can reuse these M3 nuts. He said nut. Let's see. Boy, it's getting kind of fun to get your hands in here. I think I grabbed pliers. I did. Well, that first one was easy, but boy, getting that, let's see. So the first one is in. The second one will be a whole lot of fun. Okay, and yeah, we'll come back to which clip shortly here. I gotta figure out how to get my hand through this harness and rather than using your firmware, I wonder if I can just share with you what I have. Is it easy enough to just edit my firmware? I'm just curious how much rocket science is involved here. Is that, you know, way? It looks to be. Okay. And then we're saying this has to go up, so it's, I got news for you. I think I put that mountain upside down. This is not going to go up. Here I am and here I am. So yeah, that can't be right. No one caught that, huh? Oh, you just sent a link. Let me approve it. here come the cats. Okay, so for your entertainment, I totally did this wrong. And no one caught it. So yes, it is. It is upside down. Yeah. Yeah. I thought this was going a little too smoothly. Part of me was thinking, this isn't so bad. So this is going to be interesting because I am curious if these screws are going to be in the way from behind it, you know, because they do stick out considerably. I need to get a black mat on the floor so that every time these screws roll away, well, that's the, see, the design is that this goes in like so, but let's see. Maybe these screw heads are gonna work out for us. That's interesting. And these are just using regular old nuts. Did they come with lock washers? No, I got all kinds of pins and other things, but I'm not seeing anything in the lock washers. Yeah, this part was definitely made for these 4-4. I can't get an M30. There we go. I can now. But boy, it doesn't want to. Well, maybe that's good. Maybe it doesn't have a lot of play by design. There. we're getting rid of the 440s. I stuffed some M3s. Goodness gracious. It's that time of night where these things are just falling. Okay, one is on there. Okay, they're just on there loosely. So to get this guy up and down requires a little bit of a wiggle. Let's see, what have I got? It doesn't require a terribly huge piece of hardware. Now, it's making a little bit of contact with the... No, I guess it's going to be okay. The thing is getting... I'm curious about how I'm supposed to get to the screws in the back here. That's not looking very promising, but... Yes, it is. I'm curious how they came up with this design because see, this design you're kind of covering. I think I get the gist of what they intended. I think what they had intended is that channel holding those screws there would allow you to just simply from the back turn it to lower it up and down. But right now with this thing, you know, here you really can't access that. So it's one of those things where the Thingiverse file sure looked real good. So I don't know. The other thing is that I am noticing is that for this thing to be, because I'm looking at the side view, right, but the problem is that the nuts that go in there are the 440s, and the included hardware is way longer than that. What is our next option? Well, we still have these 440s. But on the Thingiverse, he didn't really include a particular size. Correct. Yeah, you nailed it, John. So, I mean, it's a nice holder, but just don't. I'll look at my stack of 440 screws. I might have something short enough to go in there. I could bring up the Thingiverse and see what he used, but this was one of those ones where the Thingiverse file was pretty vacant. Okay, I have 440 screws that I use all over R2-D2 on the body panels, and let me see what I have for sizes. Okay, this looks promising. Ugh, that would barely make it through the plastic. Okay, that might not. Okay, I got a couple socket head types that that might just be what we need. Okay, these are, I think those are 1/2 inch. The reason I'm saying it out loud is that if it works, you know what to look for. Now, will that get us through the plastic though? It will. So now I need to find I think it's going to be easier if the nut is already in the channel. Okay, there's the other guy. That doesn't help me much. Come on. Boy, this, if this works, it will be just barely. Yeah. Well, this is we're spending more time messing with the mount. Okay, here we go again. Well, curious. It doesn't appear that the what size is smaller than M3? Because I have questions about the size screws they included here. No, maybe it is. Okay, maybe that is correct. Okay. These might be once. Let me see. If anyone has access to the BL Touch documentation, I'm wondering what size they say their hardware is. I wonder if it's 256. The reason I ask is it's a Phillips head, but it's smaller than an M3 and it's smaller than a 440, it appears. And I'm wondering, M2.5, yeah, that, and I know my store didn't even have that. Okay, I'm just trying to find stuff that's small enough to fit in here. Well, this started out as a great idea. Let's go back to our top view here. All right, so yeah, that's too big for. All right, let me let me pop open my remote control box. I might have from my servos some 256s. Okay, I think I found something. I think it's 440, but I got a box where I got about 18 different size servo motors that I bought over the years. And I don't know, that's, they might be, I don't know if they're metric or not. Let's try. With my luck, they're 440, but let's pop them open and drop them on the floor and see what happens. This might be one of those occasions where never throwing anything away helps us. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are 440s. Ooh. These might be, these guys might be metric. Let's get the next one in there. And the question is the screw going to be long enough between the ACM and the mount size to fit? Let's. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna catch any threads. No, it's just gonna sit there and spin. How disappointing that is. But I did, let me just, we did get these guys to fit in the channel. So here's the, dun dun dun. All right, let me close that. So here's the rub, as they would say. Let me get this out of the way here. So I suspect the nuts that I managed to get in here, I know locally I'm not going to find M2.5. I just know that for sure. However, the RC store, which has all kinds of remote control stuff, they got 440 galore, but the next size down from 440 is 256, I believe. And I'm pretty sure I could get a couple of those, and maybe that would fit. So that might get us through here, because the trick is it has to thread into this little channel thing here, and I didn't see any other mounts that were very well supported. Boy, this came from a servo linkage I had bought years ago. I don't know what linkage it is, but so let me get this stuff all back together and put it back in that container. Well, that's the catch. All the screws I have are they're not panhead. They're countersunk. You know, they go in at an angle, so that would definitely dig into the ACM. So I just don't have a lot of screws that size. Here we go. And the 440s, will not fit in here. So you use yeah. See, I can't get any of the M3s to fit in here. Let's try again though. Since we get no here. Yeah, I could not make an M3. Oh, here we go. Okay, I just pressed one in there. Now that's the catch. I can press it in there, but I don't think it's going to slide around. But let's see what happens, guys. Yeah, I don't have the. There we go. There's another one in there. So I've shoved 2 M3 nylocks in there. So now it's a matter of trying to find the right size guys here that will go in there and not stick out too much. Okay, I think this guy's out. Let's see what 8 does. it's threading. Well, it's traveling. It's not terribly happy about it, but it's traveling. And it's captured. So there we go. For those of you that were taking a brief nap, it seems to be working properly for a moment. Okay. So I think overall it's going to be okay. All right, now we have to get, what do I do with all my nylocks? It's a good thing I bought extra because come way down with the sensor. Okay. Problem is moving it up and down that channel was not a lot of fun. Let me bring you way back up again. Okay, is that a good starting point right there before I... Okay, I'm waiting for a response, but I'm gonna guess it has to come down some more. That, from my angle, looks like a good starting point. Let me get this guy attached anyway. Oh, you little son of a colorful metaphor. Can't swear. Keep my channel friendly. Bleepity bleep bleep bleep. Yeah. Oh, you. Yeah, this is where having an assistant would be really, really useful. Okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to push that down, but until I get that, let's get the BL Touch secure before we And let me get this moved out of the way right here, and yeah, kind of below the nozzle. It we'll make it prettier here in just a second here. Right now I'm trying to get that stupid nut. Oh, that's got my fingernail. Boy, there's boy, there's not really a good way to grasp onto that thing, is there? Oh, did that go back up on its own? Alright, I am trying to wiggle the wires out of the way here. Dun, dun, dun. Boy, how in the world can I get a... I really don't have a way to tighten that up. Alright, so... You said you wanted this thing. Alright, so I'm trying to remember. Let's talk about where our offset should be and all that good stuff. So this thing feels like it's... I wish I could get this screw to catch a little bit better, but I know on this side this thing is super tight and it's going nowhere. Okay, grab it from the bottom. Yep. Alright, this guy's popped out now. Alright, trying to give you guys a decent angle of this thing. Oh yeah, from the bottom, that's not a bad idea. If I was higher up, I probably could. Oh, good pro tip. Thank you, thank you. What you call me? Okay, that's one part. I still got to run this wire. It just popped out. Oh, I hate Hate. Did I mention I hate these spring-loaded connectors that... Okay, fan's running, so that wire's happy. Good. Power off. So if I make the BL Touch even with the heater block, so what you see adjusting right there? Well, I can't take that silicone sock off because it's so tightly wrapped around with that heater fan. With the, I'm sorry, the part cooling fan. The other option is to lower the bed by hand. Obviously we can't home. It will go boom. Just up a hair. Okay. All right, let's. Okay, she's tightened up. Hey, Dickie. $8 millimeter, huh? Was it crooked? Can't tell from the side. That better? Yeah, it still looks crooked to my. It's hard to tell from this side. So let me. I think I overcompensated this time. literally, I dropped my dropped this thing on my laptop, and the sharp edge of the caliper punched a hole in the case. All right, and dun, dun, dun. And let's use the computer to slowly lower this thing. And here we go. I am going to, let's see, connect. Doesn't want to go up. All right, I gotta do my M211 S0. Okay, the end stops are off. I should probably be doing this in the middle of the bed. So let's move you here and here, I guess. Slowly getting up there. Okay, I'll get you guys in close here. Yep. See, you guys directly in front. Here we go. Slowly getting there. All right, let's get our piece of paper there just to make sure how close we're getting here. Okay. The eagle has landed. Okay, and 5/32 drill bit, I think is what you said. Let's see. 5/32. Let's verify that. Wow. So that's where the 5/32 is. It's just a smidge under that. Do we need to go down a smidge lower, or call it good right there? What's the verdict, gentlemen? Okay. Part of the Beal Touch body, are you referring to Keith? So do you want, okay, so let me ask, so the touch, okay, so the tip, okay, so we got to go down a tad lower. Okay, that's not the worst thing you guys have asked me to do tonight. Let me turn off the printer, because I don't want to accidentally make a command here. All right, let's, actually, this test print's going to come in really handy. I'm going to put all this crap in it. All right. I had it standing on it. Come on. Okay, so it's barely fits that thing under there. And it looks like I tilted it while I was tightening it. Okay, so I'm trying to catch up on the chat buffer. So does that look straight or? Let's see. Oh, yeah, it is a little cockeyed, isn't it? Keep on looking at the video feed and yeah, okay, that's better. Okay, I think that looks a whole lot better. Yay. Okay. So Paul has survived that part of the exercise. You guys are going to start sending me more beer. Okay. Yeah, I don't have the TMC 2208s in here. I could, but I guess what I'm more interested in knowing is what do I have to change in the firmware, because I'm curious if our offsets are on every stepper. Yeah. My clearance, I just looks good. Trying to follow all the instructions everyone's giving me here. All right, I'm trying to get into my the mail real quick. Let's see. Oh, let's see, real quick. Okay, I'm getting on it on my phone real quick here. Okay, I got your sketch. All right, let me, on my other laptop here, let's... Well, actually, what I would rather do, to be honest with you, I have a lot of changes in my firm. Here's the question I have, and maybe... Yeah, okay, I got the PDF. I opened that earlier here. I have it in another... Okay. Well, here's the thing. I would rather edit my existing firmware first and foremost. I mean, how much? What's involved? I mean, how many lines do I got to change? Hang on. Okay. I got all kinds of junk mail from Oculus here, but that's what I was looking for right here. All right, let's... make a folder for Jesse here. And save that. Well, I do. It's just that... oh, and the PDF has what the change in the firm... Okay, well, let's look. Okay, this is 116. Okay, I'm glancing through this here. Copy the below, or write the main folder. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm about ready to look at right now. Okay, let's look at Jesse's. Actually, let me do this. Let me move this to the other computer. No, it doesn't want to open. Okay, that's fine. Let's do this real quick. All right, that's PC. I think all my USB ports are in use, but... stand by one as I... I'm going to copy it to an SD card, and then I am going to put it on the screen, and we will go through it together real quick. This way, if anyone else in the FT-6 community wants to do this change from the 2-wire to the BL Touch, this video might be useful. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying here. Just give me a chance to get caught up. let's eject the SD card. Come on. All right, let's throw this inside this guy. Okay, there's my Marlin 2-wire. All right, let's do this. Come on. Okay, let's see how super easy this turns out to be. And okay, stand by. We're going to drag this via the monitor. Okay. Okay, right there is my stock firmware. One thing I have turned on in here that I'm wondering if I should have turned on. Gosh darn it. This laptop has the function key on the wrong side. Okay. Should this be, I have it enabled. Should that be enabled? Because I wanted to be able to baby step by pressing twice on the controller, but I'm told that this does not work anymore. So should I comment that out? Jesse? Keith? Okay. Now let's go to configuration H. Okay, and scrolling through your comments. Okay, so right now we have that 2-wire one. It does no harm. Okay. So what am I looking to? I have the line numbers here, so yeah, your file didn't contain the sub stuff. I was just looking through it a second ago. Yeah, I just have the. I know it doesn't have the sub stuff. But that's all right. We'll fix it right here, live. But if you have the line number, let me find it. Okay, I'm looking for end stop, I believe. Here we go. Okay, so we're good there. It's using Z-min plug. Yeah, no, it's not. Whoa, thank you, sir. More beer money. Awesome sauce. Okay, liquid beetle touch. Okay. And okay, so we get Z-min plug here, so I see we're good there. Yay! Ah, beer money. Thank you. I'm just looking at what I'm doing on my other screen is I'm looking at the documentation that came with the BL Touch. So configuration H, define, use Z-min plug. Yeah, okay, we're good there. Okay, you said do a control F. Oops, come on. Control F. Here we go. BL Touch. All right, let's go with BL maybe. BL Touch, one word, I think, is what I want. Ah, here we go. Okay, line 730. We want to define this, right? Okay. Next. This thing looks like it has the same offset as the other probe. Yeah, it does. Did you? I have the X and Y at 2 and at 36. Now, don't I have to disable the old one somewhere in here? That seems too easy. I mean, outside of the wiring you have to do. Change the... Okay. What line number? The 787? You said to make that 10,000? Boy, I hate the lag. I think the fastest way is if you have the line numbers turned on when you're looking at yours, that will speed me up. Okay, so this guy, we're gonna boom, boom. Okay. Okay, and then I'm looking at the clearance deploy probe 15. Let me look at what Keith just pointed out. Z min end stop. Z min end stop inverting is false. So that looks good. The original one that came with the firmware, how did, do I have to disable that? Where is that? You know, the... Thermal runaway. Okay. I'm just trying to find where the default one is that the, here we go. Okay, so I guess maybe we don't have to disable anything. So that is that it? Just 3 lines? Probe options. Okay, 719. So leave that alone. Line 719. Okay, is there anything else in here that we have to address? Because we've only made 3 changes, and that just seems way too good to be true. I'm going to leave the same offsets. 2 on the X, 36 on the Y. Okay, and away it goes. Oh. Please enable only one probe option. Probe manually fixed mounted probe BL touch solenoid probe. You guys see that? It says, let's see, please enable only one probe option. Probe manually fixed mounted probe BL touch solenoid probe Z Allen key Z blah 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 or Z Servo. Okay, fixed probe is uncommon, so we need to recomment it, I think is what he's saying here. Okay, so 719 it looks like has to be commented. No, it's okay. No, you're fine. This is how we learn, my friend. Okay, let's save again. And oh, I just had a cat here. And the fun part, trying to figure out how to wire this little mofo. And there goes my furnace. And if this works, I'll have to get an extension cable and figure out how to run all those wires all over again. Well, this is looking good. Now, if this works, this is going to be fantastic because I know there's other people on that group that have wanted to do this, but again, you know, not to repeat myself, but if you search BL Touch FT-6, there's a lot of people that, oh no, you need to mess with capacitors, you need to do this, no, there's too much electrical noise. Yes, MKS for 1.4, I think I have the PDF there, unless you sent me another one. Okay, it has compiled. Yeehaw. And oh, Keith is on fire. He's already got it right here. That's the ramps board. MKS 1.4. Well, that doesn't look like my board though. Why does my board looks more like the 1.3? Oh, you know what? Okay, they have the descriptors in the wrong spots. Huh. Well, our Folgertech board is an MKS 1.4, but that's a picture of a 1.3. Okay, so this looks good. So file and save. All right. so before we get too here, okay, that looks happy right there. Let's go back to me. Hello. All right, now next up would be, let's get the Marlin files here. Let's copy that whole folder back. And let's overwrite that folder. Boy, there's a lot of files in Marlin. While that is copying over, okay, and we want to replace files in destination. Okay, so how much cable do I need to add extra to what I already have here? Boy, it's not a... Definitely gonna need some extensions. Yeah, let's get the okay. There. Bed lowered. Alright, and dun dun dun. Let's check and make sure that these files all got updated. Yep, good. Alright, let's eject that SD card. Yeah, I hear you. Copying my stuff back over. Boy, it sounds like I got a Keurig heating up over here. All right, and then let's go to our top view here. Man, having wire wrapped all of that, that's gonna be fun. I gotta go back to my RC box. Well, dun dun dun, where is all my servos? Well, ooh, that might be where we pick up on part 2 tomorrow. Let's see. Because I have to route those wires, I got to extend those wires, I got to find the servo cables, which I haven't used in a couple years. Let's see, let's move this out. Okay, I gotta find some more of these 2-wire connectors here. Here's a kick. I mean, I know I have tons of these things. Now I just gotta find them. Let's see. That is a 2-wire. Yeah, I'll do this offline. I know I got tons of those cables somewhere. All right, so we got a little bit more than I expected to get done tonight. I thought I was going to sit back and just chit-chat with you guys, but you guys put me to work. Let me take a peek here real quick. And let me see. Okay, I got all the things that he just sent over. I'm bookmarking the stuff that you gave me, Keith. All right. So, I don't know. What time do you want to jump into this again tomorrow? Because I'm wondering if there's anything I have to unplug from the, and let me show you my question here. Let me make you motion sick here briefly. Dun, dun, dun. And all right, that camera wigged out for a moment. Hi, Dave. Well, let's see. I don't know why this camera went south on us. All right, let's see. I think the extension cord got didn't come back. There it is. Welcome back. Okay. I am curious if there's anything in here that has to get plugged or unplugged. It's those pants. Damn you. So I'm just curious if no answers. Okay. Because I know his probe is talking via that board, but I guess we're bypassing that with this direct wiring. So perhaps that's a moot point. Okay. Okay, well maybe it's just getting late and everybody wants to call it a night. That's okay too. Alright, so first part of the BL Touch install is done. I'm going to work on tidying up that wiring up there. Hopefully we'll get some answers. I'll shoot some emails back to the folks that shot me emails. Let's see, I got more junk mail from Oculus. And some other stuff in my other email. So there. I don't know if I got some lag going on with YouTube or not, but all right. Well, thanks for tuning in for Nerd Chat tonight. If you're not a subscriber, hit the button, all that usual stuff. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. And yeah, I guess what we'll do is we'll button it up and call it a night for tonight. And I'll throw up a live stream sometime tomorrow afternoon. And Jesse, if you want, you have my email. Shoot me a message and let me know when a good time is to link up with you. And we'll do this on tomorrow. And yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. So yeah, we'll just we'll call it a night here and resume then. So thanks everyone for watching. Remember, this is where nerdy is cool. I hope you enjoy the fun we have here. And yeah, maybe tomorrow between the changes I made to the bed frame and gantry and our BL Touch, maybe this thing will be an auto leveling masterpiece. So let's think positive. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.